a skinny guy.
Yeah.
But the thing is that I think that we really need to get serious about building, shaping our bodies basically into instruments of violence. So I'm going to talk about explosive strength and how to achieve it. And what I'm going to say here today is not controversial. I'm not going to say anything that you can't find in any book by someone who knows this a lot better than me, like physical trainer or personal trainer or martial arts sports advisor or what have you. Some people disagree, but you know the basics of what I'm going to tell you is nothing to disagree with, really. But I'm not an expert, so if you start asking me what happens on a cellular level, I will not be able to respond to you, or I might respond to you and lie. But basically, that's not my area right now. Okay. So, what is power? Power is force times distance divided by time. This is a simple equation to explain it. And when you're doing regular weight training in the gym, focusing on the top part of this equation, force distance, you're pushing a weight a certain distance, and you need force to go this heavy. Explosive power adds time to it, so you need to be fast as well. You need to be able to push that weight really fast, and that's explosive power. So it also helps us to see what it is that we need to do to build explosive strength. Well, first we need to get the muscles that are strong, and that's the first part of the equation. But we also need to know that mass is not strength. Just building bulk muscles is not necessarily making you strong. I'm going to talk a bit more about that in a bit. So what I'm going to show you today are basically first how we do the first part of this equation, force times distance, how we build, increase our maximum strength, and then exercises on how we make our muscles move faster or make them more powerful. A bit of terminology here first. I promised you Superman on the slide. Here he is. 1 RM. What is that annoying thing that pops up on the screen? Okay, 1 RM stands for 1 repetition maximum. It's the maximum amount that you can lift if you're only doing 1 repetition. You're doing it once, and then you can't do it again. That's 1 repetition maximum, just so everyone knows. So let's start off with maximum strength. Maximum strength is basically built if you lift weights that are about 85% of 1 repetition maximum. You lift very heavy weights. This is basically what you do in different types of muscles. If you're doing 1 to 5 repetitions and you're exhausted after 1 set, then you're building maximum strength, then you're also getting some hypertrophy, basically building mass. If you do 5 to 10 repetitions, you change it, so you're building some more body and muscles, but you're not gaining as much strength. 10 to 15, which is basic strength training, you could say. It evens out. It's you're gaining some muscles that are just bulk muscles. You're also getting a bit stronger, or at least maintaining strength. Above that, you're getting more. Well, you're not actually training anything in particular, and above 20, you're only doing building muscle with you're basically building endurance. And here's another way to look at it. We're starting at about 85% of 1 repetition maximum, and you can see here if you go down what they correspond to, which might be interesting if you want to concern yourself with other than the maximum strength, which we're going to look into as well. Okay. points to be that we need to think about. Rest when you're building maximum strength is really important, especially between sets. You need a lot of rest, 2 to 5 minutes. If you only get like 30 minutes, like bodybuilders, 30 seconds. Bodybuilders, they tend to lower the amount of rest in between sets, which increases their mass, but it doesn't actually make them stronger. So we want to rest a lot, and you can do that by, if you're going through a set of exercises during one training session, you can actually do one set of each and then go back to the first. And a few other basics. You need to sleep well, you need to eat well, and you shouldn't train the same muscle groups 2 days in a row. And the amount of sets when you're doing, well, you know, if you're doing like 3 to 5, your goal doesn't matter if you're building maximum strength or if you're going for the explosive bit, which we're going to look at tomorrow. But somewhere around there. Now we're going to look at a little video that I did for your benefit with me doing these exercises, or not. How do I get it full screen, Matthias? And when you're building maximum strength and you're doing these exercises, you're not doing very sport-specific exercises, so you're basically doing typical gym exercises. And this is one. This is our gym, by the way. We got graffiti on the walls. Yeah, deadlifts. Really good for the entire body. And I filmed all these in 30 minutes, so they're not very heavy. These should be done like 5 repetitions tops. 1 repetition is good as well. 1 to 5 repetitions. Chins as well. You can add weight with a weight belt if you want to. If you think it's too easy, I don't. And these ones we call Feynman sit-ups. Calf presses. I put this in because it's sort of sport specific. We use our calves a lot when moving around, and you can put up on a lot of weight when doing these exercises. Barbell lunges.